Just love it. Just love it. Welcome to the J.A.M, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. This is GoGi's After Dinner Jam. I'm so glad to be here. So glad that you chose to be here. Using your free will is important because they're trying to take it. So use it every time you get a chance. And I thank you. I choose you back. We call this Flavors of Ice Cream, and you chose to be at the Jam. So I'm so grateful to that. I appreciate you, and I do not take anything for granted. So I'm so glad you made it in. Here we are in August. Can you believe it? We are entering into August. This is the last month of summer, so we'll just be exiting summer as we move into fall. So we are going to enjoy every day as much as we can under the circumstances. You know what I'm saying, that we're as well as we can be under the circumstances. But here we are. So I have a little message tonight, and of course we have another jam-packed night. And so I'm hoping that it blesses you and that it fulfills you, it puts a smile on your face, uplifts you, informs you, inspires you, and does something to you that changes you from the moment that you're here now until the moment that we leave. Tonight is First Tuesday, and on First Tuesdays, GoGi Goes Gospel. Most of the calls, they're not really, they're not God-centered, but I'm there. God's with us, and but I believe that I need to give my first fruits to Him, and so today is First Fruits Tuesday. All right, and I'm calling this the domino effect. Okay, everybody knows. Maybe you have played the game dominoes, and you know, in order for the domino effect to happen, every single domino has to be in place. And if there's one out of place, what happens? That's where it ends. So all the pretty designs, all the things that we wanted to do, sometimes we wanted to do something fancy at the end, does not happen if it's not in line. So, all right, so when unforeseen things happen in our lives, like this evil program, sometimes we spend time blaming ourselves, questioning other people, looking at what should have, could have, would have, happen if I would have, could have, should have done this or that. But in reality, nothing happens by accident, and nothing happens without God's consent. If God doesn't ordain it, He permits it. So let me repeat that. If God doesn't ordain it, He permits it. God has a divine will for our lives with all the perfect things He wants for us because He loves us, each of us, so much. But because He is a just God and His word is His bond, and because man has given so much authority to the evil one, bad things happen to good people. Let me repeat that. Bad, like horrendous program that we're in, like gang stalking, like assault by electronic weapons. Bad things happen to good people. And I will repeat it again. Okay, repeat it again. Bad things happen, like this evil program, to good people who are just minding their own business, standing on their own integrity, maybe standing up for something, maybe just not. Maybe they wore the color pink or the color light blue. But bad things happen to good people. So you know why this is so important. It's important because someone still believes it's his or her fault. Someone still wishes he or she kept his or her mouth shut or never said hello. But the truth of the matter is, it may have happened before the event you think caused you to be in the program, or it could be generational. It may not have even started with you. It may have started with your parents or your grandparents. Like the theme from Final Destination, if it was meant to happen, it was going to happen no matter what. So no use looking back or spending time feeling stressed or anxious about life's unforeseen and unfortunate twists and turns. If God didn't intervene, inevitably, on the larger scheme of things, it would have happened, and it's all good. So I want to look at a biblical example of what I'm saying, of God's divine intervention. There are so many of those incidents and examples in the Bible, but tonight we're going to look briefly at Daniel in the lion's den. Okay? I'm not sure how many of you read all your Bible studies, but Daniel in the lion's den. So the the gang stalkers, oh my goodness. Let me get this together. I'm sorry. They got together and they plotted against Daniel. So let's read. And who is it? It's not the handlers. It's not the gang stalkers. What am I talking about? This is Daniel chapter 6, verses 6 through 9. And it reads. Here they are. In my Bible, this is the Message Remix. It's called The Vice-Regents and the Governors. So the vice-regents and governors conspired together and then went to the king and said, King Darius, live forever. Giving honor to the king, okay, because they want something from him. We've convened your vice-regents, governors, and all your leading officials and have agreed that the king should issue the following decree. Now, the decree, this is the decree. For the next 30 days, no one is to pray to any god or mortal except you. O king, anyone who disobeys will be thrown into the lion's den. Now, of course, just like this program, they study us and get to know us so well, they know exactly what to put in place for their trap. So they knew that Daniel would pray. All right, and so they issued the decree. Issue this decree, O king, or they requested of the king, and make it unconditional, as if written in stone, like all the laws of the Medes and the Persians. So King Darius signed the decree. There we go. All right. So, interesting that when people plot against you, to really get next to you, they have to know who you are. And sometimes that's why in the program they'll put people with you to ask you questions, to get to know where you are. They want to know, and I talk about this in my book, GoGi's 10 Signs, right, about the months that the evil ones spend getting to know who you are before they begin to make moves. They want to know where you get your hair cut, where you get your nails done, where do you take your car, what you buy at the supermarket, what you like, what you don't like, what kind of music you listen to, and so on and so on and so on. So they knew that Daniel would not stop praying. And I'm going to look at verse Daniel 6, verse 10. When Daniel learned that the decree had been signed and posted, he continued to pray, just as he had always done. His house had windows in the upstairs that opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he knelt there in prayer, thanking and praising his God. Okay, and they knew he would do that. So the king, who loved and respected Daniel, was blindsided. He signed the edict, not realizing its impact. So let's look at Daniel 6:11 through 16. And it says, the conspirators came and found him praying, asking God for help. They went straight to the king and reminded him of the royal decree that he had signed. Did you not, they say, sign a decree forbidding anyone to pray to any god or man except you for the next 30 days? And anyone caught doing it would be thrown into the lion's den. Absolutely, said the king. Written in stone, like all the laws of the Medes and Persians. Then they said, Daniel, one of the Jewish exiles, ignores you, O king, and defiles your decree. 3 times a day he prayed. At this, the king was very upset and tried his best to get Daniel out of this fix he put him in. He worked at it the whole day long. But then the conspirators were back. Remember, O king, it's the law of the Medes and Persians that the king's decree can never be changed. The king caved in and ordered Daniel brought and thrown into the lion's den. When your word is your word, you have to stand by your word, even when it hurts, huh? So he had him thrown into the lion's den. But he said to Daniel, your God, to whom you are so loyal, is going to get you out of this. Okay? So the question is, what will happen to Daniel? All right, Daniel, let's see. Let's read and see. The king, okay, a stone slab was placed over the opening of the den. The king sealed the cover with his signet ring and the signet rings of all his nobles, fixing Daniel's fate. The king then went back to his palace. He refused supper. He couldn't sleep. He spent the night fasting. Okay? He had to do it, but he was upset about it. So at daybreak, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. As he approached the den, he called out anxiously, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so loyally, saved you from the lions? O king, live forever, said Daniel. My God sent his angel who closed the mouths of the lions so that they would not hurt me. I've been found innocent before God and also before you, O king. I've done nothing to harm you. When the king heard these words, he was so happy. He ordered Daniel taken up and out of the den. When he was hauled up, there wasn't a scratch on him. All right, now God can do it. Won't he do it? He had trusted his God. Then the king commanded that the conspirators, so now he deals with the evil ones, now that the good ones are rescued, okay? And I think that's the pattern here. Get us out and then deal with them, all right? That the conspirators who had informed on Daniel be thrown into the lion's den along with their wives and children. Guess what? Before they hit the floor, the lions had them in their jaws, tearing them to pieces. King Darius published this proclamation to every race, color, and creed on earth. And this is the proclamation. Peace to you, abundant peace. I decree that Daniel's God shall be worshipped and feared in all parts of my kingdom. He is the living God. World without end. His kingdom never fails. His rule continues eternally. He is a Savior and rescuer. He performs astonishing miracles in heaven and on earth. He saved Daniel from the power of the lion. And it is my belief that he's going to save us. All right? I wanted to make a few points here. That sometimes we think because things that happen that are unforeseen, that we regret it and we blame ourselves and blame others and do all this. But if it was meant to happen, it was meant to happen. And if God didn't intervene, then it was meant to happen. So in the end, it will be all good. If he didn't ordain it, he permitted it. He could intervene for us right now, and he knows how much we love it. My God, I wish it was yesterday. We're taking it one step at a time, and trust, I understand it is not easy at all. But we were talking about dominoes, that domino effect. After all, if all the dominoes are not in the proper place, the desired outcome will not take place, will not be there. So all the dominoes have to be in line, and we have to be patient and wait for it to happen, as they say in social media. Wait for it. I'm still waiting. I hope you are. Okay, and we know that there are so many times that God could just do things, like he took Jonah out the belly of the well. He healed the paraplegic when he was lowered down by his friend on top of him in the ceiling, through the ceiling. the children of Israel were taken from the Egyptians. They were able to walk across the Red Sea, even though it was all wet, but the walls split, the sea split so they could walk across. He restored Job. He saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He raised Lazarus from the dead. There's nothing that our God can't do. So if he's not doing it, there is a reason. We are being patient, letting those dominoes line up, and we're talking about them lining up, and they're lining up every day. All right, so we're going to get into the jam, everybody. Let me get ready for our question for tonight. I hope you got a little something out of that. And the question is, all right, so this is a Harvard student created an A1 companion to combat loneliness. So it's like I guess it's like a iRobot kind of thing. But he created an AI companion. And it's going to go on the market early 2025. Do you want one? Now, I'm sure it's customized. You can, pick how you want it designed, what you want it to say, and the attitude that you want it to be. Do you want an AI companion? All right, so let's welcome everybody to the jam. Let's open up. If you have noise in your background, please mute yourself. And then if you have something to say, say it, and then mute again. And thank you for being here. Let's go. Somebody has some noise. We're going to find you. Thank you. Welcome to the jam, everybody. It is August 6th. And here we are. You made it in. Please state your name, city, and state you're from. And do you want an AI companion? Would you want an AI companion in your home?
Hey, this is Daniel from Huntsville, Alabama. How are you tonight?
Hi, Dan. I'm as well as can be expected. Thank you.
Yes. I think I would try it, but I would much rather have human companions. But I mean, obviously, there's things that it could work good for. I would try.
Okay, you would try it. All right. Thank you for that, Daniel. All right. Next caller, please, and thank you for joining the jam.
This is Darren from Minnesota.
Hi, Darren.
Hey, GoGi's. So, hell no, wouldn't want AI. I don't want any of that technology around.
Okay. Okay. All right. Two totally different answers. All right. Thank you, Darren. Thank you for that. There's no right and wrong. It's about preference. Thank you, and thank you for being here, all the way from Minnesota. All right. Next caller, please.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you far, far away.
How about now?
Much better.
Well, this is Tori from New Jersey, and hi, GoGi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Tori.
What I'll say about that is the truth is we're already engaging with AI already. So your phone, when you do internet searches, Microsoft Edge uses Copilot. So we are already engaging with AI. It's it's a thing that's going to happen whether we like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Would you want an AI kind of robot in your home?
No, I think I'll pass on that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your call. Thank you for being here. All right, and we look forward to hearing from you later. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the jam, everybody. Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, and would you be interested in an AI companion in your home?
Hi, GoGi. This is G in Virginia.
G, how you doing?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you?
Well, it can be expected under the circumstances.
Well, I know how that is. I think I'd like to have one up in there. You know what I do with it? I like to have one so I could take him apart to see what he's made of. Dismantle him just dismantle him just to see what makes him tick. And then maybe I'd be able to put together some sort of remedy to take some of this pressure off of us if I dismantle. If I had one I could just take apart.
Oh my God! If you could find out how to take the pressure off, that would be lovely. I'll
That's
get the
right.
first one, G.
Let's take them apart.
That's it. Well, welcome to the Jam. Thank you for being here. Next caller, please. City and state you're from. Want an AI companion in your home.
This is Dana from Detroit, and absolutely not.
Okay, all right. Well, they'll be on the market, guys, starting in 2025. The Harvard student has made one, and they'll be available. City and state you're from. Want an AI companion in your home. That's the question tonight.
Hey, GoGi.
Hello, GoGi.
All right, two. I'm going to take the. Okay, we're going to take the base first, the one with the base, and then, young lady, thank you for letting him go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, GoGi, this is Roger from Connecticut.
Hey, how you doing?
Peace and blessings. Listen, I just got to say, I already got AI. I got a companion. They watch me when I go to the toilet. They watch me when I go cook. They watch me when I go in my car. And they watch me already. What the heck I need another AI for? And to pay for it? Oh, heck no. I want freedom. And because, this is why I worked in law enforcement. They called the cell phone a reason. They named it cell phone for a reason. Because everybody's attached to a cell phone, so you in the cell. Because they know everything you do. So I don't want no more AI. I just want the wood.
Okay, now.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Thank you so much for that, Roger. Thank you for being here on the Jam. Absolutely. I sure get it, guys. We have company and no privacy. The woman who let Roger go first, please, go ahead.
Okay, this is Jill in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I wanted to tell you, it's my birthday today, and I got on especially GoGi's Gospel. I really loved it.
Wait a minute. I don't know who's calling me in the middle. I wanted to hear. I'm sorry. You said what now? First of all, happy birthday. I heard you say that. Happy birthday, Jill. Okay, we're going to all say happy birthday in a minute. And you have one, GoGi's
No need,
Gospel?
really.
You said you have one, GoGi's Gospel?
Oh, yeah, that's why I got on. I mean, I've been looking forward to it since you talked about it last week. And I'm struggling with God allowing this, and this really helps, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. It's a hard pill to swallow, and we can't lean to our own understanding, but His, and He sees the whole entire picture, and we see from our perspective, and so at the end of the day, we'll understand why things were the way they are.
I look forward to that. And on the question, I totally 100% agree with Roger.
Okay, I get it. We have AI already, right? No privacy whatsoever. Well, thank you for being here, Jill, and happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next caller, please.
Hi, this is Alina from Florida.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what the AI companion would be, but I would know, since we're already hacked and everything, we got AI all over, but they could send us some robots to do our housework.
Okay. You want an AI robot just to do housework. I love it. All right now. Thank you. Thank you for being here from Florida, Alina. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, God. You hear me?
Hi. Yes, I hear two people. Okay.
This is
I heard
Regina. Go ahead.
Hi, Regina. There was a man. The man, give us 1 second. Go ahead, Regina.
Okay, this is Regina from Michigan, and I would have one.
You would have one?
Yeah, I would have one to use direct weapons towards them. That's what I would have it for.
Wow, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Well, you know what? At least it's not human, so, you know, you can't be punished. It's a thing, right? It's not a living thing. I love it, Regina. All right, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing. All right, there was a gentleman speaking. Go ahead, sir. Did I hear a male speaking? Okay. All right. Then we'll move on. Is anybody else before we close it down?
Yeah. Good evening. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say one thing. That neuro rights goes into effect in Colorado tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you
Thank you for sharing that. I think that was the last one. I'm not even sure if we got to read that bill. Thank you so much. The Neural Rights Bill in Colorado, in effect tomorrow, August 7th. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, go ahead. Thank you. The female caller.
Yeah, hi, this is Helen in California. I just want to say hi, Gaji and everyone, and I would not get an AI companion because AI is demonic. It's manipulation, and I want no part.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Helen from California. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. All right, guys. Anybody else before we close it down? Anybody else? Okay. If you will, can we, as we go out, can we say happy birthday to Jill? I'm always honored when you guys choose to be here on your birthday. I think it's so wonderful. Jill could be anywhere doing anything, having birthday cake, hanging out with her friends. Happy birthday, Jill. Thank you for choosing to be here on the Jam.
Happy birthday, Jill.
Happy birthday, Jill.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May the Lord bring you power.
Happy birthday.
May the Lord bring you showers. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jill.
You're being celebrated.
Happy birthday, Jill.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. All right, guys, we're going to close it down. We have a jam-packed night, so we don't want to, remember, we want to keep both eyes open so that we can go to work tomorrow, right? Healthy, wealthy, and on time. All right, so let's close it down, and let's get ready for the news. Give us a minute. We're going to close it down. Okay, guys. So we have, I started out with 3. I just want to thank all the people, Sarge, Liliana, J.A.M, everyone. I hope I didn't miss anybody that sends articles and different information for me to look at, because we just do the best we can to share what we feel is going to be good for all. All right? So let me start getting ready right here. Okay. So this first article, I wish I could show you this picture. But Of course I can't because I'm on my phone, but it is a hidden camera. And the name of the article is Hidden Camera Found in Shrubbery Outside Suburban New York Home. Officials say it's part of a nationwide trend. Why am I not talking right today? Okay, a nationwide trend. So the hidden camera looks like shrubbery, and it looks like it looks like a necklace with a leaf. Okay, so let's see what the article says. Police have issued a warning, and this is in Scarsdale, wealthy area in New York. Issued a warning about camouflage cameras hidden in the shrubbery outside upscale suburban homes after one was found in Scarsdale earlier this week. It's just the latest incident in a nationwide trend. Police in California have been warning about camouflage cameras for several weeks. Near Boston, a camera was found hidden in shrubs outside a home, and 3 people were arrested after they allegedly used the camera to time a break-in for when the family was away. All 3 suspects had New York City addresses. Okay? So now a Scarsdale says camera found hidden in bushes in Scarsdale. A Scarsdale homeowner doing yard work found the surprise in their shrubbery. Police say it was a camera camouflaged with fake greenery and hooked up to a cellular hotspot to broadcast surveillance video to parts unknown. Scarsdale police are getting help from the FBI, Homeland Security, trying to find who's behind the hidden camera. Okay, the group is generally from South America. The group that we are investigating, said Scarsdale Police Lieutenant Steve Delbin. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. I know we always look at hidden cameras because we are surveilled, so we try to find it. And I'm just reminding us, this is a good reminder that sometimes they can make them so well that they look like shrubbery. And I know, like, for example, I have a window here, and there are trees right outside the window. So they could absolutely put something in there that you could see. And that's why we have to get these detectors to find these cameras so that we can tear them down or grab them and keep them as evidence. So if you find one, grab it, keep it as evidence. Okay, I hope you're still documenting, hope you're still journaling, because it's very, very important that you do, because we will get our day in court. Okay, that's the first one. Second one, the second article, and I have to find it, but it's about dental anesthetics, and this is from Dr. Anna Mahausha, and let me find it. It was put out on July 30th, and this is the article where, they've been talking about what the dentists use, and there's a letter in Targeted Justice, where you can request, and it's hard for the dentist to not use nanotechnology, anything with nanotechnology in your mouth. And they would have to, I think you would have to ask ahead of time and stuff, because they put it in almost everything. All right, so give me a minute and find the article, because it was confirmed that there was graphene in the anesthetic. So let me I'm sorry, because I don't have it, I don't want to do it in the order that it is, because I want to kind of make sense. So I hope you all got something from the message, and it's a hard pill to swallow since, we're going through so much. Here we go. Breaking news, graphene confirmed in dental anesthetic by University of Colorado. Colorado seems to be doing a lot of things. The neural rights bill is in effect tomorrow, and the University of Colorado confirmed that graphene is in the dental anesthetic. So let's read a little bit of it. Dr. Lundstrom a family dentist who formerly had contacted me to provide dark field microscopy testing on dental anesthetics, was able to get analysis done at the University of Boulder, Colorado, and they confirmed graphene. He has been posting the results of his endeavors to get answers on his website. Dr. Kernan also did analysis, as did Clifford Carnicom and myself. You can find these results here, and it's Dental Anesthetics Analysis, Dr. Lundstrom. Lundstrom is Lundstrom. They explain, we began the process of getting answers on the safety of dental anesthetics in February of 2023. We began by contacting the manufacturers of the anesthetics, and in July of 2023, Dr. Lundstrom partnered with the IAOMT to pursue testing of the anesthetic. Our hope is that with the weight of the IAOMT and their 15-20 members, we can accomplish our goal of answering the question on dental anesthetic safety. IAOMT stands for the International Academy of Oral Medicine and Toxicology. Initially, engineer Matt Taylor from Ecuador showed his analysis of dental anesthetics. So let me see what we want to say. They mainly say that they confirmed it. And what's hard about this is when you have to get work done, you need anesthesia, and then they're putting stuff in there that's not healthy for us. So this confirmation from Colorado is very meaningful because the same self-assembly nanotechnology we found in the COVID bioweapons is in dental anesthetics. I also showed microscopy of many childhood vaccines, insulin, and other injectable drugs. We, concerned scientists and doctors around the world, have been correct in our warnings all along, and gradually rigorous scientific evaluations from reputable universities prove this point. The question is, what will humanity do about it? How can we continue to ignore the self-evident while harm is being done to our fellow humans? I want to thank Dr. Lundstrom and his team and for his persistence in pursuing his expensive research. I believe it will help all of humanity wake up. And then here are the study results. So the results are there, very scientific and graphic. And the conclusions that there's nanotechnology, which is self-assembling object, and graphene in the anesthesia. So hopefully, I think the goal is to get those things out. And again, there's a letter on targeted justice if you would like to give it to your dentist so that they can try to not to use supplies that have graphene in them. And this article will be very helpful as well. Okay. All right. So now we want to look at here about Mark Zaid. Mark Zaid, this is a quick video, and we're following him with the Havana syndrome issue because after about 6 months, we all most likely have Havana syndrome, okay? And so we targeted individuals are not recognized as having Havana syndrome. Only so far the diplomats have been, except for the diplomats and Dr. Bear. So they were supposed to have a meeting. We last met on July 30th. The meeting that was supposed to be held the very next day, July 31st, was postponed. Not sure why, because there was great expectation at that meeting that they might finally recognize the fact that regular civilians, everyday people like you and me, have Havana syndrome. Okay, so we're going to I have about the next 3 things will be about that. We're going to begin with Mark Zaid's comment, and this is a comment from a while ago, but it's still very current. Okay, ready, Lady T?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Mark saved, guys.
In October of 2014, NSA finally gives me a document. The National Security Agency confirms that there is intelligence information from 2012, 4 years before Havana, associating the hostile country with which Mr. Beck traveled in the late 1990s with a high-powered microwave system weapon that may have the ability to weaken, intimidate, or kill an enemy over time and without leaving evidence. The 2012 intelligence information indicated that this weapon is designed to bathe a target's living quarters in microwaves, causing numerous physical effects, including a damaged nervous system. And this is the document that the U.S. government, the NSA, the CIA, and others need to respond to and say, what did you mean by this? And what are you doing about it? In October of 2014,
thank you, Lady T. Two very important questions. What did you mean by this, and what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Okay, so it's always concerning when a hearing is canceled, but we're going to keep our eyes and ears open for it. All right, so this is this is the title of this. Government report comes forward with a significant number of Havana syndrome victims among DOD employees, children, and those attacked on U.S. soil. Excuse me. This is July 2024. Government Accountability Report to Congressional Committees reveals the numbers. So this is, I'm going to look at, and if you want to go on the GAO website, which I just found, and I mean, it has everything in there. It's very informative. It talks about direct energy weapons. I mean, it's just, things happening, our assaults happening right in plain sight. Okay? So Dr. Baer read the article, and he picked out some highlights. I believe it's 8 of them. So let's just look at what he shows as the highlights from the government report. Number 1, this is probably the first time I am seeing an admission of domestic attack in writing from a government agency. However, the scope of the report clearly refers to federal employees and their families only. Once again, multiple incidents have also been reported within the continental United States, but at least they have an admission of domestic attacks in writing. Again, only the diplomats. Number 2, no information about the casualty of treatment or treatment options are delivered in the report. Number 3, a pie chart of anomalous health incidents, AHI designees, includes surprisingly high numbers of DOD employees, 29% or 74 out of the 257 designated. That's a lot. But all we hear in the news is diplomats and spies. Yet they have a high number of employees, okay, that experienced AHI, and they were attacked in the battlefield. No, these were attacks on U.S. soil, but the report, he said reports are lacking, so they don't specify how these people, 74 of the 257, got attacked. Okay. Then so that's the pie chart. Number 4, 65 AHI patients were interviewed in the process of preparing this report. It was found that many were stigmatized at their work and even offered to see a psychologist. Okay. Don't do it, okay? He put no in the parentheses. Some patients were made to feel crazy by their agency medical teams. Very interesting. Okay, so as they're interviewing them, they're still acting like this could be a mental health issue. Wow. Number 5, out of the 65 patients interviewed, 26 people experienced their AHI domestically, 35 people overseas, 2 people experienced AHIs in both domestic and overseas locations. So mostly overseas, but closely followed by domestic. Number 6, to receive any compensation through the Havana Act or DOD's trauma registry, you need to be a covered individual. A covered individual. And he wrote, that rings a bell. I'm not sure what that means, but people, when you're diagnosed, it's worth an effort. Some DOD officials noted that AHI patients were experiencing cognitive decline and may not effectively retain information communicated orally. Okay, wow. So basically, when you're talking to them, they don't retain it. Maybe if you write it or something else, okay? Number 8, 15 children received AHI designation as of December 2023. However, civilian children is not something our government is concerned with. And his closing statement, so is it really that much of a stretch to believe that civilian victims of Havana syndrome who never worked for government, who were attacked on U.S. soil exist, that children of the civilians with the same diagnosis exist? And his call to action, call your legislators and raise hell. All right, so we're going to put, this is a J.A.M. homework assignment. Excuse me. I get something about Havana syndrome, but I really want us to. I'm really looking for that meeting, and so we'll know what to do. Okay. All right, and that is the first Havana syndrome article, and there's one more. The second one is about the number of Havana syndrome victims. Okay. So, let me mention this while I have it up. This is just a mention that I have. This is from July 28, 2024, and it says the CIA denies conspiracy theory that it used MK Ultra on Trump's shooter. So Thomas Matthew Crook, they could not find any motive. Thomas Matthew Crooks wasn't part of some Manchurian candidate-like plot, according to the spy agency. Just the fact that they were asked is just very interesting. That's just something I want us to note, that they did ask, and the CIA denied that they were, this, and called it a conspiracy theory, that it used MK Ultra on Trump's shooter. Very interesting that they were even asked and responded. Okay? So, things are trickling out, not as fast as we would like, but I heard someone say, and when I like to quote people and I like to give them credit for what they say because I thought it was very informative, that when 1.6% of the people know of a secret, then it becomes table talk. So it becomes common knowledge. Although we're all talking about this and so many people are talking about Havana syndrome and things, some people still have no idea. They're still going to work, doing their daily routine and have no idea what's going on and have no idea about targeted individuals. But when 1.6 people know about a secret, then it becomes table talk. So we're close to that, meaning, 1.6% of the world doesn't know yet. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So the article is from the Miami Herald, and it is from the Miami Herald. Okay, and the name of it is, it's about 300 Americans. It's a new report, reveals Havana syndrome case numbers. Okay, here we go. Spies, active duty military, FBI agents, diplomats, and at least 15 children are among the 334 Americans who have qualified to get treatment for Havana syndrome in specialized military health facilities. Numbers that conflict with an earlier assessment by U.S. intelligence agencies, minimizing the problem. The new data was published Monday and in a study conducted by the U.S. Government Accountability Office between February 2023 and June of this year, which examined the challenges patients face accessing care in the military health system and whether the Department of Defense has facilitated it as required by the federal law. Okay. The office, which conducts audits and investigates for the U.S. Congress, concluded that Americans affected by these still unexplained cases of what the government refers to as anomalous health incidents struggle to get proper care, confirming earlier reports by the Miami Herald that some had been denied medical treatment by their agencies and suffered retaliation. Very interesting. So they were denied medical treatment, and they suffered retaliation just for coming and saying, I have it. Okay, according to the report, almost half of the 65 patients interviewed told investigators that they have been stigmatized by their employer after reporting experiencing one of these incidents, which led to negative effects on their career. Some were pulled from their work assignments, referred to the psychologist, had their security clearances delayed, were placed on leave, or lost their jobs, the report says. They attributed these experiences to their agencies not believing them, according to the document. The new report also includes previously undisclosed details about the Americans affected by these mysterious incidents, which have taken place on U.S. soil, in Cuba, and several countries since at least 2014. The study commissioned by the Senate in 2022 had also raises new questions about how the U.S. government and, in particular, the intelligence community have handled the investigation. As of January 2024, 334 people, including active duty military personnel, current or former federal employees from other agencies, and their family members had qualified for care in the military health system. According to the Department of Defense estimates cited in the report, at least 15 children had qualified for treatment as of December 2023. The total number of people affected in these mysterious events is likely higher because some were never treated in military health facilities, including many of those affected in Havana between 2016 and 2017. And it says spies, diplomats, FBI agents targeted. Most of the officials affected come from U.S. spy agencies and the Department of Defense. Okay. Let me see. Let me just bump around here for a little bit. This is important. As of April this year, 257 non-military, current, and former government employees and family members had qualified for treatment. Because you have to qualify for the treatment, okay? 88 of whom came from the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the report says. Another 74 were referred by the DOD, including employees of intelligence agencies such as the Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Security Agency, and the National Geospatial Intelligence agency, as well as civilian employees from the military service. The list includes 28 people referred by the FBI, 44 by the State Department, and 26 from the Departments of Homeland Security and Agriculture, the National Security Council, and the U.S. Agency for International Development. Okay. So, all right, I think the point here is that some of them were mistreated, but let's look at some of the symptoms so that you can see that it's similar to what we go through. The victims have described being exposed to sensory phenomena such as pressure and noise coming from a specific location, and have developed brain trauma and a variety of other symptoms like vertigo, tinnitus, migraines, vision problems, and cognitive impairment. The symptoms can be long-term and debilitating. At least one victim, CIA case officer Zoe Moulton, has died. She died in April after being diagnosed with cancer. Okay. All right. So patients are referred to centers in the Defense Intrepid Network for Traumatic Brain Injury and Brain Health. All right. I think those are the main points. But we're going to continue to follow what is done and how people are being treated. And we're going to follow up with the hearing and find out when they finally have the meeting. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to the next thing. Okay, we wanted to look again, take a minute and look at the cell towers, because we know that most of what we're going through comes from the cell towers. We're going to take a quick commercial break first, and then we're going to listen to a video about the cell towers. And we did mention the Gwynn towers before, and we have a fuller list of the locations. So I don't want you to think that your state is safe, it doesn't have them, but we do have further digging to do about that. So let's listen to the cell towers, and then we're going to hear about the Gwynn towers, and then Major P with the effects of 5G. So we got a few exciting things coming up. Let's go. Commercial first.
Are you feeling like something strange is happening in your life? You tell others, but nobody believes you? Well, get ready to uncover the truth with GoGi Justice's groundbreaking book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. GoGi Justice, an everyday person just like you, has written a book that exposes the covert illegal activities happening right under our noses. With a writing style that's raw, honest, and relatable, GoGi takes you on a journey through the dark world of targeted individuals. You'll ask yourself if you are experiencing these signs. Learn about infiltration, gang stalking, privacy violations, and even hacked home appliances. GoGi's book is a beacon of hope, providing encouragement, tips, and resources for those who find themselves trapped in this nightmare. It's time to fight back and regain control of your life. So if you're tired of feeling isolated, unheard, and targeted, grab a copy of GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. Available now on Amazon.com and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. Don't let them silence you any longer. Take the first step towards understanding, empowerment, and freedom. Get your copy today and join the movement. GoGi Justice's book, A Voice for the Targeted Individuals.
All right, okay. And so let's hear this audio about the cell towers.
To broadcast the entire Earth, it takes 2 kilowatts, 2 hair dryers. Now, a microwave oven uses 1,000 watts, or 1 kilowatt. Here's the damage 1 kilowatt can be done by somebody when they take a magnetron out of a microwave and turn it into a ray gun.
This is just a small example of a low-tech weapon running on 1,000 watts. Then you have these things here, these huge towers of death. Now each row in this tower, an array, or a set of dishes or rectennas or whatever you want to call them, is connected to a cable with a maximum power output of 300,000 watts or 300 kilowatts. That's 300 microwave ovens. We based that conservative estimate based on the gauge of the cabling that's running up to one of these arrays. They're estimated at 300,000 watts per cable. Those aren't fiber optic cables running up to those arrays. It's a thick copper gauge transmission line quality cable running up those towers. Now, if there's 10 cables, that's like 3 megawatts of power. And these cables are out there to output power to the magnetron, not for data transfer. That's an important point. These cell phone towers are weaponized. There's no other reason to have this much power running up the cables. It isn't for data transfer. Now, FCC regulations limit normal transmission per array to about 400 watts. To put that into perspective, 1 watt from your phone can go 25 miles to the nearest tower. A 1,000-watt magnetron on a stick can blow shit up. And these towers have a 300-kilowatt power up to each rectenna. And who knows, there could be an amplifier at the top of these towers that steps up the power even more. The point is here, ladies and gentlemen, is that these companies like Lucent and Google could turn up the juice at any time and nuke a town. They could nuke the entire country without any warning, without anybody being able to protect themselves. They could cook them like a boiling frog in the middle of the night. This infrastructure is not only in place, it's built up with multiple levels of redundancy. And all that needs to happen is for an AI from Google or whoever to come in and nuke everybody at once and take over. Who out there remembers that movie Terminator? Well, Google doesn't have to send a Terminator to every door or launch a nuclear strike. It can just turn on these cell phone towers to maximum and cook everybody within the city limits within an hour, and then just send in the Terminators to mop up the countryside.
Wow. That is, he said a mouthful. The key point is that the towers are weaponized, and that they have more power than necessary. They don't need all the power that they have. You know, we started our cell tower search, and we really have to continue it. We really have to continue that. They don't need all that power. That's the message. Okay, thank you for that, Lady T. The Gwynn Towers, you were going to tell us the location? We can't hear you. Hello? You might have to unmute.
Gaji, she just fell off.
Oh, okay, so she's having difficulty. Okay, Major P, are you ready with the effects of 5G?
I am ready.
Okay.
Okay. Explosive military document shows the true effects of 5G. Ron Johnson of Stranger Than Fiction News just released a new book, Transhuman Genocide, to not only inform you about the 5G death towers, as he calls them, but about how to protect yourself from the toxic electrosmog and to get ready for the new next thing, energy weapons. Sabrina Wallace has warned us about the upcoming electromagnetic drone warfare and plasma charges and how we need to secure and protect our biofields in order to survive this. Back in the summer of 2016, watching former Federal Communications Commission, FCC, Chairman Tom Wheeler announcing the rollout of the new 5G cellular phone platform was like watching Hitler sans the apoplexy. He was a smooth operator, selling us our own genocide at that press conference. It was so awful, the FCC had the video removed from everywhere. However, since it was an official FCC press conference, here's the PDF. In hindsight, that press conference foreshadowed the juggernaut of psychopathic bureaucrats and media hectoring their viewers and normalized during the 2020 pandemic. Make no mistake, they are soft killing us every which way with their endless hectoring and their insanity inducing Alice in Wonderland torture techniques while psychologically rounding us up for their final solution remix.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Slow kill, huh? The effects of 5G. So we hear about the effects of 5G, and then we hear that the towers are weaponized and have too much power. All right. Very interesting. The world that we live in. Is Lady T back?
I am back.
Okay. All right.
You know they riding dirty. They riding dirty, so you know.
Okay. All right.
I have the locations for you, Gaji.
Thank you.
Okay. Appleton, Washington, Austin, Nevada, Bakersfield, California, Billings, Montana, Boba, Mississippi, Clark, South Dakota, Edinburgh, North Dakota, Thenner, California, Flagstaff, Arizona, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Goodland, Kansas, Grady, Alabama, Great Falls, Montana, Hackleburg, Alabama, Hagerstown, Maryland, Hawk Run, Pennsylvania, Kirtland, AFB, New Mexico, Klamath Falls, Oregon, Macon, Georgia, Medford, Wisconsin, Medora, North Dakota, Onondaga, Michigan, Penobscot, Maine, Pablo, Colorado, Ronan, Montana, Savannah Beach, Georgia, Spokane, Washington, Summerfield, Texas, and Whitney, Nebraska.
Okay. Thank you. So it's quite a few. We at first we thought it was just a few, but there's several all over the place. So we're going to look into what they're doing, and we'll share articles and information as we receive it. Thank you so much, Lady T. Thank you, Major P. Very
welcome.
Informative. All right, thank you. All right, now there's a new article here. Now there's a new push that's happening. So let's see what it's on NBC News, and the title is Lawmakers Renew Push to Hold Federal Officials Accountable for Civil Rights Violations. Very important. This could be very important to any cases that we may have, okay? So it says the legislation would ensure federal officials are subject to a long-standing law that allows state and local officials, including police officers, to be sued for constitutional violations. Okay? Washington. This is August 1st, 2024. The article is by Lawrence Hurley. Democratic lawmakers are mounting a new attempt to ensure that federal officials, including thousands of law enforcement officers, can be individually sued for constitutional violations such as the use of excessive force. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and Rep. Hank Johnson are introducing legislation in the Senate on Thursday and the House on Friday that would amend a post-Civil War era law that allowed state and local officials to be sued for civil rights violations to make it clear that federal officials are covered too. Okay? The move comes after the Supreme Court has made it almost impossible to sue federal officials, most recently in a 2022 ruling that said Border Patrol agents cannot be sued individually. Public officials at all levels of government, including law enforcement, should have a clear, fair standard of accountability when they break the law, White House said in a statement. Okay, let's see how far. Johnson, who is introducing the legislation in the House alongside Republican Jamie Raskin, said the bill fixes the issue by increasing judicial accountability for unlawful federal government action. As NBC News reported last year, the Supreme Court has for years been retreating from a 1971 ruling called Bivens versus 6 unknown named agents, which concluded federal officials could be sued. So-called Bivens claims became the only way to bring such suits, but the Supreme Court repeatedly refused to allow them to move forward. In the most recent case, the court ruled 6-3 that individual Border Patrol agents generally cannot be sued for constitutional violations. In the 12 months after that ruling, how lower courts cited it 228 times in a variety of cases against all kinds of federal officials. NBC News found in 195 of those cases, constitutional claims were dismissed. Short of suing, I think I have a mechanical little gnat in here. Just popped out of nowhere. Okay, short of suing individual officers, current options are limited. People can instead sue the federal government directly under a law called the Federal Tort Claims Act, but damages there are limited, and there is no chance of a jury trial. The legislation, which has previously failed to pass, is less than 1 page long. It would amend the law by simply adding that officials of the United States can be sued in addition to state and local officials. Okay, so we'll see how far that gets. That's something important for us to watch, in particular with the targeted justice lawsuit, because it's suing for in individual capacity as well as official. Okay, all right, guys. So let me see. Do I have one or two others. Let's see. I can check that off. I mentioned the CIA denying the conspiracy theory. And then let's take a commercial break, and then we have one or two others for you. So get ready, and then we're going to get ready for our special guest. All right.
Attention targeted individuals. Don't miss the largest TI awareness event ever organized, the Targeted Action 2024 rally in Colorado Springs, hosted by Targeted Justice. This incredible event starts on Wednesday, August 28th, and spans 2 days with an optional third day. On day 1, we have the Brotherly Love TI Meetup. The theme is Plan for Peace, a chance to connect, share, and envision a peaceful future together. Then on TI World Day, August 29th, the action begins. First, we'll distribute awareness flyers at key locations during the Targeted Action 2024 morning awareness event, followed by a powerful rally. In the afternoon, we'll unwind and strengthen our bonds at the Surviving and Thriving TI Cookout. Registration is just $25, a small price to pay to be part of this historic event. Show your support by purchasing exclusive Targeted Action 2024 merchandise. For more details and to sign up, visit the Targeted Action 2024 tab at targetedjustice.com or the TI Rallies section at tievents.org. We'll see you in Colorado for Targeted Action 2024.
Okay, all right. Colorado, the place to be, all right? You know, August 28th through the 30th, which includes TI World Day. The group will be in Colorado Springs. And there's lots of activities, so make sure you make your way there. You can go to the website and sign up, register, and also visit TI events for the ride share if you want to share a ride. And there's just much to do, so check everything out under Targeted Action 2024. All right, everybody. I do have another mention. I'm going to bring your attention to the Targeted Justice sent out information with Ted Gunderson, and you know he's a great whistleblower back in the day. He talked specifically about the program. He also has information there that can be used in court, and so it's very important. And I'll bring out highlights of it next week, but I would just encourage you to read that. And I wanted to mention there was this another decision by the Fifth Circuit. Let me just see if I can find that real quick. And then we have our final video for you, and then our speaker. So let me see if I can find this Fifth Circuit. It's just a decision. I know it's relatively new. One second. I do want to mention this. We're looking for, if anyone can, we're going to look up, there's something about Rep. Shelley Moore Capito and Pete Ricketts, if anyone can find their information on the Biden-Harris Inflation Reduction Act. I would love to share that. It deals with domestic terrorism on U.S. soil. Okay. I think I'm going to ask one particular person to do that. All right. And for the sake of time, if I don't find this, I'm just going to say what I know about it. Here we go. Here it is. Okay. The Fifth Circuit Court has ruled that the Biden administration, the FBI, and the CDC all violated the First Amendment by colluding with big tech to censor Americans. So this one is said and done. The Fifth Circuit ruled that the Biden administration, along with the FBI and the CDC, violated the First Amendment by colluding with big tech to censor Americans. Okay, so, and I think that has to do with, you know, how we couldn't say anything about the vaccine. You know, you couldn't make certain comments. They started messing with your account and things like that. So I'm thinking that is what that relates to, and I would certainly like to look into it a little deeper. All right, so I think that's all we have. And now we have the last video, and this is about a gang stalker. No, it's not a gang stalker. It's a victim who was gang stalked and ended up with V2K, and just how he felt about it. So we're just going to listen to him a little bit. Very interesting interview. Okay? Ready?
You guys, happy Monday. We have another awesome testimony from my friend Derek, who is out in the West Coast. He has a really amazing testimony of things that he's been through with gang stalking and just being, bullied. And, we're just out here trying to share a message of hope that, what you've been through, if you're experiencing this, that there is hope to get through it. So, Derek, let's start a little bit with your story, a little bit of, your background, where you're from and that kind of stuff.
I'm from Oklahoma City. Now I'm currently living in Los Angeles, California. I'm 50 years old. I don't have any mental issues whatsoever. Up until 2 years ago, I never experienced hearing voices or nothing like that.
Sign up for this workshop now, and we'll teach you how money works and also how to manage money.
Nothing like that. And I just remember one day my fiance telling me, she called me. We weren't living in the same location. I was living in one location, and she was living in another location. And at the time, we were drug users. But even, with her being on drugs or whatever, she never really just, spazzed out or wigged out or nothing like that. And she called me and she was like, hey, listen, I'm seeing a red beam in the tree. And I really didn't think nothing of it. She said, like a man is up in a tree with like a red beam. And it just really didn't, it didn't really just set well with me, but I kind of like blew it off. And like shortly after this, I started noticing little things like we would be out in public at Walmart or different places like that. For like the first week, I'm going into like the first week, we would be in like places and I would just notice that people would like just automatically just stare at me. Now, at first I was thinking, maybe, something has been posted about me or something derogatory or something like that, but I've never done nothing. I'm not a sex offender or nothing like that, so I was wondering, like, why are these people just looking at me all of a sudden, And so we were staying with her grandmother at the time, and I noticed, like, I would start hearing voices. And, like, I was 48 at the time, I'm 50 now. I never heard voices in my life. So I just started hearing these voices, and I'm like, man, where is this coming from, And she had never seen me, act like that as well. And so, when I used to tell her, she was like, man, you're delusional, you're tripping, it can't be nobody, And I'd hear, like, little stuff in the garage that we normally would never, ever hear. And so, it's like the shaking of the garage door and different stuff, And I was like, man, it never happened before. And around this time that a lot of stuff was occurring, some people had came to live with us as well, I won't say any names, but yeah, they had came to live with us as well. Now, what really put the icing on the cake is one day me and her decided we wanted to go off and just chill. So we went to a motel, and when we get to this motel, the room next door to us, it was not occupied. There was no one in this room. But for like 6 to 8 hours, I vaguely, I may be not correct on the hours, but it was a long time. I know it was longer than 5 hours. There was somebody in the next door room to us. And, the plug-in socket, we could hear like somebody messing with that. And, at this time, I'm kind of like hearing little voices here and there. And I'm like, it's wigging me out and I'm tripping out because I've never heard nothing like this. And, I don't know, but after doing my research about how the whole V2K gang stalking, targeted individual thing works, I was more pointing the finger at her family members, But after doing my research, I learned that these guys can, they can emulate other people's voices. You know what I'm saying? If you, like, from a distance too, like, so
that is the point I really want us to hear. So they kept using her family's voices everywhere he would go, and so it would make him think that it was her family, and then he had to do his research and realize that they can make anybody's voice. They could make it your parents, somebody that you know, somebody that has passed away voice, and that would confuse people. And that's why, even later on in this interview, he says he checked himself in, and a lot of people do check themselves in to prove to themselves or to their family members that they're not crazy, that something really is happening, and it's just a very hard thing to do it. So I'm glad that we have each other and that we know and we understand and support one another, because we understand that what we say is what's happening, and it's not us. It's happening to us, not coming from us. And the whole program, we are victims of it, but we will be victorious in the end. All right, so that is all the news we have. The ones that I didn't share or that I will share next time, I certainly did put it on my list for next week. And we're going to move right into our special guest. So, Tori, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you can hear me now. Great.
Yes.
Okay.
I
awesome.
can hear you now. So, yes, and I introduced you, Tori, as an IT specialist and as the founder of TI Street, and you also the head of the state contact, so you coordinate that whole process. And I just want to commend you on some of the work that I've heard that you did with people that were in need. I know you extended yourself, to the limit with some people, trying to help them, people that were homeless and so forth, and also matching them up with people from their local area so that they can get further help. So I commend you on the work that you've done in the short time that you've been ahead of the state contact. And I know with your IT, you certainly helped me walk through some processes, and I'm sure you can help others or have. I know you also helped some other people in New York. So I commend you on that, as well as beginning your own website. So is there anything else you want to say in terms of your introduction, something that I don't know or have not said?
Or have not said. Well, I'll say this for everyone listening. I know what is happening to us is very painful, but I'm not sure of everyone's background here, so I can only speak for mine. But you do have to have faith, because this is just not a what's happening to me thing, or even a group of people. It's bigger than that, and I highly suggest that if you don't know Bible prophecy, you really need to look into it to understand what's really happening, because this is so personal. It can feel so personal that we can isolate and get into depression, but we have to have hope somewhere. So I encourage you to look into Bible prophecy, and hopefully that gives you some peace of mind, which it's given me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was just going to say one last thing. We can't undo the years that have been stolen from us, but we can look forward to the one that said he would build a place or create a place for us to be with him forever. So I highly encourage you to learn about him in Bible prophecy. His name is Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Today I wanted to talk about... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, God.
That's okay. No problem. I do want you to talk about that. I want to just share the premise or the foundation for it. And we, TIs, are a part of like this big experiment that is, it's just so invasive and horrendous. And we're all looking for the end, forward to the end. And we can see the things happening all around us that's telling our story and saying that we're close to the end, and we're just hungering for that day. So what Tori is going to share is another horrible government experiment, and we're going to start studying, like, here and there some of the other experiments that were done. And specifically, I would like, and I sure hope you have this, Tori. If you don't, then you can take your time to bring it back. But exactly how many people were affected, how long it lasted, and what kind of reparations they received. And
sure.
Okay, good. And then we want to look at other experiments that the government did. And one reason I want to do this is because people, when we tell our story, act like it didn't happen, like the government never did this to other people. Like they don't do things like this. They do. And they have done it before. It's historical. So that's one. And we also want to look at people who have won cases, and like the James Walbert, Richard Keynes, and Catherine Hortons, and even smaller cases. Some cases we don't even know about, but we want to study some of that so that we will collect the proper evidence, do the right testing, and the things that we need to do to prepare ourselves for the overflow. Okay, so yes, Tori, if you can share about the Tuskegee experiment.
Okay. So back in the 1930s, syphilis was widespread, but particularly in Tuskegee, there was a high concentration of it. The PHS, which is your public health, they decided to set up treatment centers. But the funding was pulled by, I believe the group is called Rosenfield Group. They pulled the funding. So PHS, they decided, well, we want to study the long-term effects of untreated syphilis. So in 1932, the PHS sent out flyers stating free test and treatment. But the intention was never actually to treat the men. They were told after 6 to 12 months they would receive treatment, but the date kept getting pushed back, and that's going to be significant as I go through this. So the initial group was about 400 men, which is a large group. And then later 200 more men were added to this. So it's not that, listening to the documentary, I didn't get that they were being intentionally infected with it. It was just the denial of treatment. They used a black nurse. Her name was Eunice. She was known in the community, so people felt friendly with her, so that she could oversee the distribution of the blood examination. Medical offices back then were contacted. Now, I meant to say this at the beginning. Every TI should really be thinking about, how does this impact me? Not necessarily this historical event, but the little methods, the tactics used. So in this particular instance, medical offices were contacted and told not to treat the men. They had a list of names. Right? So that is very much an analog society. Now we're digital, so we can do this very quickly, meaning data sets and databases and so forth. When these men died, the experimentation didn't end there. As much as they could, they collected the bodies so that they can run tests and do an autopsy on that individual. Many died at home, so the PHS actually didn't get a hold of those bodies because the families did away with them in whatever way they saw fit at the time. However, the PHS then started offering the families a payment for the bodies. You know, people didn't have life insurance back then. You know, it's a black town, little resources. Now, keep in mind, penicillin was at this point widely available, but these men were denied that treatment. Furthermore, wives, girlfriends were infected, and children were born with a form of the disease. By the 70s, now we started in the 30s, we're now here at the 70s. By the 70s, the only remaining member of that local PHS was the black nurse Eunice Rivers. Eventually, the CDC took part in this. They took some oversight, and although people began to raise concern, the CDC saw a need for it to continue until all the subjects had died and had been studied. William Carter created a newsletter to expose it. He's a black gentleman. To expose it, but received little attention. Finally, he went to the Washington Star and spoke with a journalist by the name of Gene Heller to expose the story on July 25th, 1972. Fred D. Gray filed a class action lawsuit in 1974. The hope was for plaintiffs to receive financial and medical compensation. The survivors and their families were awarded $10 million. Now, as I listened to the documentary, I wasn't sure if that was $10 million for all of them, or was that per survivor or per family? But I'll look into that.
And also,
families,
Terry,
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Did anybody survive? Was anybody still living? You said one person. Was anybody still living?
Yes. So for the people who were actually infected, there were 5 survivors by time 1997, and the rest of them, the families came forward. There were 3 to 5 other additional family members that came forward to represent people who had recently died. So the families wanted a formal presidential apology. In 1997, Clinton met with those 5 survivors and their families and gave them an official apology. Now, in 1999, the Tuskegee Institute was actually turned into the National Center for Bioethics and Research in Healthcare. In 2009, a museum, the Legacy Museum, was opened to honor the men who were in the study. The study was a failure due to it being compromised so early on. Austin Dybert, who was one of the people that were involved with PHS, stated this. So, in other words, these men suffered for nothing. They allowed the disease to continue on and on and on for 40 years. So, if you think about being a targeted individual, people are told not to tell you. That's one thing. But again, we're in the digital age, so the messages, they can direct the people around us very, very quickly, not like in the past. So the denial is another thing that you should think about. The denial that keeps this going on and on and on and on, and no help, or you go to in this case, they went to medical offices for help, and they were told not to treat these men. This is your American government doing this. And so for us as targeted individuals, there's shadows of what occurred in our current experience. At least I can see that, and I'm sure many of you too can as well. So that was the end of all of my bullet points. But I wanted to just specifically draw attention to the fact that the American government is not unfamiliar with experimenting on a population against their will. And if they can get away with not compensating you, they will. So it is important for targeted individuals to utilize the resources to get evidence as much as you can. For example, medical in Richard Kane and James Walbert's cases. For us, depending on if it's RFID or nanoparticles, the evidence gathering can be different, but we have to try. That's all we have, and we have targeted justice. You know, the number one site organization doing something about this issue. So just exercise some activism every day and spreading that message.
Yeah.
And that was it.
All right, thank you. One thing you said, and that reminds me of us as TIs, is that they would go for help, and the people there were told not to help them and not to treat them. And that's how
right.
when we go somewhere for the way that people respond to us, if they know we're going, they'll do something before we get there, or if they can get there when we get there and they start talking to someone else, they can impact how we're treated, and it's just so sad. So it's not unfamiliar to them. And it's, you know, when you're doing an experiment, just legally and ethically, it should be with a person that consents. I remember they used to have these little research centers, and people walking around with clipboards. If you go into a mall, if you want to come in and do a study or something like that, and you agree to do the study, you know what the study is about, you sign off on it, you get a little gift card or some little perk for it, and you do a study. But to do unconscionable, long-term, you know, cruel things like this is just it's just absolutely ridiculous. So, it's amazing to me sometimes when I see websites like the GAO or websites that have the information from years ago so carefully and thoroughly put out there, and all the videos and all it's like so evident and clear what's going on. It's amazing that it's still going on, that it's still operative. But I believe that some people are covertly cleaning up their act and pushing back from this because they see that this is coming to an end. And I believe that they haven't told the others that are still here assaulting us and doing things, but it's going to come to the middle. It's going to meet up, and it's going to end. So I'm just looking forward to that day. And I thank you for bringing that to us, to our attention, Tori. Thank you for researching it, and we're going to continue with. I really want to look at Richard Kane next, the one who won all these millions, and I would like to see what he presented, what they were doing to him, and the proof that he gave, and about his case and so forth. So that would be the next one. That
and
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just wanted to mention, so with their denial of treatment, this of course ended up affecting their families. And the same thing goes with how we're targeted. It affects our livelihood. It affects those around us, our spouses. Our children. It can affect our children, or in other words, they can even become targeted themselves. So in the same way, in this case, these men were targeted for this reason or denial of treatment, and then it ended up having an effect on the home.
Yeah, absolutely. With this, it seems that they target so many people. They target a lot of your family, and they don't know it, and like no one believes you, and they can't even see what's happening with them as well. So it's very interesting. All right, so I want to talk about some homework. We can see if anyone has any questions, and then I would like to talk about some of our homework. Let me just check on the queue. And if anyone has any questions or comments, you can get in queue for that. And if not, I want to move right on into homework, and we'll have some announcements, and we'll end at a decent hour tonight. Isn't that great? Okay, let me just check on the queue, Tori, 1 second. I'm not getting a response. T, are we good? Can I move on with the homework?
Hi, Gaji, you actually do have a few questions in queue.
Okay, so let's get started. All right, thank you. First caller, please.
Well, hi, Gaji. This is Saqib from Atlanta. I apologize if there is noise. If you hear some noise in the background, that's because I'm at a supermarket. So
no problem.
I have a quick 2 points. One is, and I was thought about this idea, not sure the feasibility, but I'll just bring it up. I was thinking about have a TI store where things are either available to TI so free or for cheapest available shipping, as long as and then there should be let's say if I have an old laptop, old phone I don't want, I send those, that goes to the TI store. But if that's a good idea, then only we can think about how to do it. In other words, just people send pictures over, and then they get posted, and a TI is interested in how they do it, or there's a central point. Things can be sent at the cheapest down shipping. So all the schematics can be worked out later. First thing is to even determine if it's a good idea, like a laptop, old TIs may have 6-7 old cell phones sitting at home. They don't need them. Usually they give them to a thrift store or recycle them. Or similarly, there could be some clothing items that could be expensive, and they can get them for dirt cheap, for nothing, maybe for free. That's one idea, which is just something to think about, the feasibility. Second thing I was going to say was, this is for those TIs who have not heard it. There is a song, I Am a Targeted Individual, very well sung. But I am unable to find it in a direct search. But if anybody wants to listen to it, all you have to do is call the DJ Chris call when it's on, not on. And he plays that whole song in the background because his call is not on. And it's an amazing song. So those are the only two things. One is the TI store. Second is the song I Am a Targeted Individual, which you can hear on DJ Chris call when it's not on. If you call in, the song plays. And I'm going to actually record that song on my phone. This way I have it in case that call gets disconnected or that song is not there anymore. That's all I have to say, and thank you very much.
Thank you. We've been missing you, Saqib. Yeah, thank you. All right, so first of all, I have to call in and listen on DJ Chris line and listen to that. I love the idea about the store. The hard part is the logistics of it because we would have to pay for shipping to get something to someone unless we can do it in different locations. So that's something I'm going to mull that around. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, one way of doing it is that have it, like for example, a TI is in Atlanta, so you have the other TI has to pick it up. If a TI is in LA, so the California stuff, the TIs are in a location where there are a lot of TIs around, so then the other TIs can pick it up who need them. That's one way of doing it if you want to avoid the shipping.
So I was actually thinking about that a couple months ago due to helping people with different things, and I thought of how could I solve that issue. So, for example, if a TI was in need and we're able to purchase whatever item, let's say it was a backpack or something like that. Well, what I was thinking was having a relationship with a church or contacting a church, because then that can be used as a delivery point, and I'm sure our church would love to be a part of helping others. So if someone is houseless, then that church would be a place where they could actually pick up that item, be it sneakers or clothing, whatever. So it's something that that I've been thinking about, actually.
Your point is excellent, and maybe this can go as a TI action item or TI event for other TIs to go to church and find a church that's willing to help us, and then we can take that church as a contact point and keep adding all the church who are in the TI cities, and the TI can drop it off over there, and then they can, somebody else can pick it up, stuff like that.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That would be so great. Maybe churches would keep a little space just for to have things for TIs to pick up, and we would let TIs know where they can go. So it takes a lot of coordination because, with all the states, we have to make sure there's one, try to find a church, at least one church per state, but states are so big, we need more than one church. So that's a huge effort, but, we could get started. They say that's the thing with getting something done is to just begin. So one step is a beginning. I like it. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sakeem. Next caller, please.
Hello, Gaji and Tori.
Hi. How are you? How are you doing,
Roger? Hi. Listen, I really like your article there, Tori, but it's the U.S. government has always, matter of fact, in 1916, I believe it was, when they first used the Puerto Rican women as test guinea pigs on the birth control pill. And that was done through the government and Johns Hopkins, and how they use certain groups to guinea pig people and how they're guinea pigging us. I think the story is great, and I think it's true that our government has done this to us over and over, and it's just increased. So I think everybody should be aware that when they're saying, because I was on the pity patty a long time when I didn't say nothing, I was like, why is this happening to me? But if you look at our history, it's been happening a very long time. It's just got more in a digital way now, and more of a technology way. So that's all I wanted to say. I think the gentleman had a good response there. That there's so many TIs that other TIs have so much information that we should have something out there where, like, other TIs have community resources, or if they have knowledge, this person can go here and find a shelter bed, or this person can go and get from, say, St. James Episcopal Church in New London every Tuesday and Saturday. They have a clothes locker that anyone can go there and pick out 3 outfits for success. Or if they need clothes, underwear, or they need socks, that church is always. So I think if we put our resources together, I would say this, Gaji and Tori, if we broke the United States down into like 6 regions and have a regional person for particular states, like if we took it and divide the states in the United States in 6 portions, and then say we need one person that can talk to that whole group, say that has California, hypothetically, California and New Mexico and Nevada and, say, Arizona, and then break it down where the next section is such and such. That person could then reach out to everybody in their states and say, send me all your contacts. Send me, how does someone get a free phone? Do you know of any program that can help them? And I don't care where it's at. And then we put it all out there and then put it on a website that they could go, even under TJ, if they approve that they can go to these certain places to get food, or they can go to a food pantry on this day. They can go to get clothes at this place if they, or whatever. And then also there's a lot of TIs in different states that are willing to give stuff away, and that could be on there too. And then we work out the logistics of how do we get it to that person, because we are, like Tori said, you have to have faith. And I believe if a man is hungry, we shouldn't say, come back tomorrow. Or if a man or a woman needs clothes, we should have an answer since we know what's going on, that we can help our brother and sister to build them up and say, we got an answer for you. So that gentleman has a great idea. Tori has a great idea. You do. Now we just got to put it in action and make it work.
I love
That's
it.
all.
I love
That's all I have to say. But I'd love to be a part of that because I think that the basic needs, we're torn down so much that if a person, I always believe this, and I have some rooming houses, if you can house somebody and clothe somebody and get them some food, then we can work to the next success to get them back on their feet. And this whole program is totally designed about torture, non-touch, and psychological. So if we work in the other aspect, when they go low, we go high. So maybe that's a wonderful way to put it and to help with our brothers and sisters. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry I'm long-winded. Peace and blessings.
No, that
Bye-bye.
was great. That was great. Thank you. And you brought up a few good points. One thing is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So like you mentioned, that church that is already giving out things, they have a clothes locker. There are a lot of soup kitchens. There are a lot of people that do give away things. And if we can introduce the TI community to them, and so that they'll know that, you know, that we are a thing. We're a group of people that need help often. And so, and we can create a resource directory with these places, then we can, I think we're on to something. I would love to really work on that. So in addition to the activism, we can provide some support services for TIs because many are, as we say, houseless, homeless, or in their cars, and they do need support. So I love it. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. All right, so we'll talk. We'll continue to talk about that. All right. Next caller, please. Tori, did you have a comment before we move on?
No, I did not.
Hi, Gogi. Hi, it's Autumn. How are you, honey?
Hi, Autumn. How are you? Where in the world are you now? I know you've been traveling lately.
I am in San Diego. I have a wonderful meeting with the FBI tomorrow.
Uh-oh. That should be interesting.
It's a good one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'll fill you in on that later. But, yeah, I'm in San Diego until I finish that meeting. Then I'm going to Austin, Texas to meet with my friend Robert Montez, who's my angel, who is going to be driving to Colorado with me.
All right, beautiful. So you're getting ready for the trip and rally?
I am so ready. And, Tori, I can't wait to meet you, too. I know that my friend Rod Morgan adores you. And it's like, I can't wait for you guys to meet because I know we're going to get along so well.
All right, Autumn. Autumn,
Is she
I'm
still
so happy.
there?
Yes.
Tori?
Hi, Autumn.
Hi, Tori. I can't wait to meet you, Tori.
You know what, Autumn? I'm sorry to say this, but I have a 4-month commitment starting in cybersecurity training, so I will not be able to be there, unfortunately.
Well, that is too bad. Definitely get my phone number from Gogi and feel free to call me anytime. I'd love to chat with you.
We'll do. You said it's Autumn, right?
Yes, it's Autumn Maddox, M-A-T-T-O-X. Yeah, I'm planning on being one of the team leaders at one of the protests there in Colorado, so
gotcha.
I am looking forward to it. And
I'll catch you at the next
meeting Gogi.
I look forward to meeting you too, Autumn. Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
God bless y'all. And I'll give you a buzz tomorrow after that happens, Gogi, and let you know how it goes. And fill you in. But it's a good thing. All right, honey. Take care, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon. God bless. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. All right. Okay, next caller, please.
Hi, Gogi. Good evening, Tori. This is Millicent.
Hi, Millicent. How you doing?
Okay, I had two things. Now I have three things. One of them is wanted to add to what Tori was reporting on Tuskegee. In 2011, there was a group of us who went to give testimony at the President's Commission on Bioethical Issues in Washington, D.C., and that whole hearing was about the use of the whole country, I guess, of Guatemala in the exact same syphilis experiment that they were running in Tuskegee. So the gentleman who talked about the ladies in
Puerto Rico.
Yes, in Puerto Rico was correct. The United States was responsible for that the use of the people in Guatemala, just like they were responsible for the use of the people in Tuskegee at the exact same time. And that commission that was organized by President Obama found the United States guilty.
The commission found them guilty of experimenting illegally?
Illegally on the country of Guatemala. They wrote a big summary on it, and it can still be found on the Internet. Our testimonies can also be found there, by the way, because they became part of the Federal Registry, so they can also still be found on the Internet in writing.
Beautiful.
Second thing I wanted to suggest, as Tori expands his research, take a look at Vanderbilt University being sued by 900 pregnant women. They did a radiation experiment. Radiation experiment in 1940. It came out in 1995. They reached a settlement. The law firm that handled them, the class action lawsuit, was Leaf, Cabrazier, and Bernstein out of San Francisco.
What was the year?
1940, right?
1940?
Right.
You said I think they were they nursing? They were pregnant and what? No, they weren't nursing. They were pregnant women, and
correct.
They were supposed to be getting better, but they weren't. I can't remember this. I can't wait to look at the specifics of it.
They gave them radiation cocktails, told them it was going to give them energy or something, I think, but it was actually they expected that it was going. They used it to follow the development of the fetuses. And those children, those babies were born with all kinds of horrible deformities and things. And so then they followed them through life. In fact, here in Nashville, they opened a big care center for children with developmental disabilities, and those were those babies.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. But Leaf, Cabrazier, and Bernstein, they did, and I think maybe still have some reference to that case on their website. They're in San Francisco. I've actually contacted them 3 times about my own case. They weren't interested in the single case, but they did hold a class action lawsuit for them and did get a settlement in 1995.
Okay, for those ladies.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, thank you. we're going to look at that. 1995. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then last thing, our church, Refuge from the Storm Church, actually did have a benevolence fund. We ran it for, I guess, about 3 years. This last year, our revenues had dropped so that we could not continue it, but we did actually try to meet the needs of some of the targeted community on an individual basis. So we'd love to share with you of our efforts in doing that, because we did resort to finding, if someone contacted us for assistance, we would find out where they were living and then find out what other resources was within that area to refer them to, and it worked really well.
Beautiful. Then thank you. Then maybe you should definitely be a part of this effort. You could help to spearhead it and move it forward, because being a church, that would be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's what, we've been talking about. I was thinking also about just making sure people have the bare minimum. I know this guy was going to be on the street, so we made sure that he had a phone and, some dollars on the phone, because you don't want to be out there without any lines of communication in 2024. So, and I know, Tori, you were doing something with somebody with a laptop, and, it's just, it has been on an individual basis, but we want to organize it more. And I know Roger has done, oh my goodness, things. If we can pull it together, we can do more, more for more people. All right. Next caller, please. But thank you.
Okay, Godness. This is Diane from Buffalo, New York.
Hi,
Can you hear me? Hi. Thank you for all the information you're giving. I'm learning a lot. I have a question, but I know you don't have time to answer because you're pushing right through. I don't know whether it's the police or the FBI that's giving my information, what I say on the phone. They're telling the next person what I'm saying. Then I could see it in the person's face that they know what I say on the phone. That's one thing. Another thing is I'm being hit so hard, me and my son, with this cell tower mess. They were moving my brain around last night with the microwave, moving my stomach around where my kidneys is bleeding, heavy blood. I'm just getting attacked really heavy. I want you guys to pray for me that I can get out of Buffalo, New York, because it is a very, very heavy presence of police, fire department, and the rest of them that stalk me. The electric company, it's like every day, all day. Pray for me. Thank you.
Okay, we will. And I hope. Good. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, sorry, God.
No, go ahead. Well, I was going to ask her if she... Go ahead. Her name is Diane. Go ahead, Tori.
Oh, Diane. Well, Diane, one reason that's happening, first of all, they do leverage remote access to your phone. So, for example, it's very easy for a machine to take a conversation, and then, it's very efficient to text other people. So this is why it creates an isolating effect. This is why people seem to know your personal affairs, because people, every day we use our phone to schedule our doctor's appointments. We talk to our friends, family. So capturing a conversation. So it's not like there's a person on the end with a tape recorder. It literally is machines that can actually do this. But if you read the CIA's job description for targeted analyst, that seems to be a lot of the tactics used. So then once an individual is identified, meaning targeted individuals, then the whole idea is to leverage everything that's associated with that person's life. That means their laptop, their phone, and then transmitting that data to people who don't need to know. So, for example, like you said, you noticed your friend seemed to act a little funny. Well, it's highly likely something was sent to her.
Okay. Or told to her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just wanted to know because I know it's so sad. This is just so sad. Pray for me, really.
It is sad. And also shield. I hope you're shielding with your body. Water.
Like I said, I'm trying. Trying, but like I said, I'm homeless, so it's hard for me to, be in a certain place to do a certain thing. I'm just trying to pray to get out of here and find an apartment somewhere. I just have to keep my prayers going. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for being here.
Yes. You're welcome.
Hey. All right. Are you in touch with the other Buffalo people? I think I've asked you that before. You are, right?
Well, only one is Sonia, but I haven't heard from her. Samia, I haven't heard from her in a while. And I was talking with a girl in Texas who introduced me to Samia, but I don't know, me and her had a little disagreement, and I haven't heard from either of them in a while.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then think about that. All right. Thank you. We'll I guess you could make sure Tori has your information so we can try to get you with some of the contact people.
Yes, I will. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane.
Don't worry.
All right. Next caller, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I have
How are you? Go ahead.
Okay, well, I have a brief comment, and I've really enjoyed your informative programs. I think that it's a very good series, and I just wanted to say that I have come across some information because I used to live out in that area, Colorado Springs. Years ago, I played music out there for a while, and so I keep in touch a little bit out there, and I've been following a story in the Denver Post. The Denver Post has been pretty good with this story. It's been going on for the last several years. There has been a very unusual environmental incident there, and I would encourage the people, the organizers, and I would like to be there. I don't know if my situation will resolve enough that I can go there, and I would like to meet the people there. But I would encourage you to have some water that has been brought in from someplace, purified and distilled or something like that. Have a water truck or a water stand. Have some water tested there, because Peterson Air Force Base and the bases around there, they have been using a fire suppressant chemical on the runways for some time, and they have been hosing off this fire suppressant chemical, and that chemical has been going into the groundwater and into the wells, and it is a very it's a chemical that should not have been allowed to have happened. I'm very, very upset that this has been allowed to happen in such a place as Colorado, and there are good chemists who, if they had been encouraged in the proper way and funded in the proper way, could have come up with low and non-toxic fire suppressants. There's no reason why this had to be happening, I think, but it has been happening. They're called PFAS. PFAS, and you can look it up online. It's been going on in Colorado Springs, and it's in the water, it's in the food. Yeah, PFAS, per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, and it's something you don't want to have around water. They lowered the limits of this very drastically. The limits, and they found it in the waters around there to be about 500 to 800 times these limits. And I think that just to have some kind of reassurance there that people going there can find maybe a free water truck with some jugs of water brought in from somewhere, or water that's been tested. I mean, might be a nice thing to do. But if you look at these Denver Post articles, you'll find out a lot about what's been going on with it. It's in the water, it's in the food, it's in the fish, and they've been pretty concerned about it in the Colorado Springs area and other places around there. So, and I know we have enough trouble as TIs as it is, and it's great that this is happening. I would like to be a part of it, and I hope I can be, but I just wanted to pass that information along because I think to be responsible, I wanted to do that. So,
thank you so much. I'm going to share with the organizers about drinking the water or eating fish. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll look up that PFAS.
And thank you for your work, Gogi.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next caller, please. Is there another caller on the line?
Hi, Chris. Can you hear us? Chris?
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Gaji, for the great call, and Tori also. Lots of great information.
Thank you.
I'm also just letting you know I just registered yesterday for the rally.
Yay! Beautiful. Good.
I also put on there that I can be a driver if anybody needs a ride from the Idaho, Wyoming area, Utah maybe.
Beautiful.
But anyway, what I was just going to ask you was I missed the part when you were reading, somebody was reading about the different states when you guys were talking about the cell towers, and then you said that there was a bunch of states. What were you talking about? What was that called?
Those are Gwen towers, GWEN, and if I look back in my notes, I could tell you what that stands for. But those are Gwen towers. They've been around since the Cold War, and they're not supposed to be used, but we're looking at that. Let me just look at my notes, what Gwen stands for. See how good I am with these notes now. Very interesting. 1 second. So, here we go. It stands for Ground Wave Emergency Network. So it was a ground wave emergency network. But I don't want to say that they're using them against us. I'm reserving that statement until we do some more digging.
Okay. All right. I was going to do a little research on it, but I can't wait. I even ordered some T-shirts and stuff today, so I'm so excited.
All right. I look forward to meeting you, Chris. Thank you for always being so supportive on the show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Next caller, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yeah. Okay. My name is Roman. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. And
hi, Roman.
How you doing? And I was just wondering, do you think, I don't know. I mean, my target is pretty bad. I'm pretty sure everybody has their case of bad. But do you think it would be a good idea to, reach ministries like Perry Stone or, I don't know, like T.D. Jakes, and then, like some of the major big churches to, inform them on what's going on so we could have more of a believers, church awareness, so we could get more, I don't know, I say the more prayers, the more, the better. I know everybody has a different, level of belief and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think it would be a good idea.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I think it's an excellent idea, and we actually started. We paused, but if you would like to be a part of that initiative, I'd love to have you a part of it.
Okay, you mean reaching out to some the big churches, you know Perry Stone, right?
No.
You know who Perry Stone is? Okay, Perry Stone. He's more he kind of look more of an end times minister, but you should look him up. Perry Stone, he's on TVN and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think some of the major churches, if they knew what was going on, it could. I don't know. I say the more prayers, the better for anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to get churches involved because this was my premise is that if you go to a church, then you're going to go to your minister and say, look, people are following me around, or I hear voices in my head, and what's the minister going to say? Oh, you probably need to check in somewhere, and let's get you evaluated. They're going to be very loving to them and helpful, but they're not going to believe them, probably, unless they know about the program. So we really want to let them know that this is a thing, that the person is not crazy, and so forth. So that is the mission, and so I would love for you to be a part of that. So if you can email me at the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. I'd love to hear from you and get you a part of that clergy initiative.
Okay.
All right.
All righty. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming on the Jam.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hi there, Gaji. Good evening. My name's Lori. I'm a TI in Indianapolis. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you great. Hi, Lori.
Hi. I'm a good friend of Pat's. She's wonderful.
I was going to say, you're in Packtown.
Yeah.
I'm glad you know her. Yes, she is. She's a doll.
I'm blessed. She's an angel and more than. She's a godsend to me. But anyhow, I had a quick question for Tori. It's related to IT. A couple of days ago, and hopefully this is the right question. I've never asked a question, guys. I've been a part of your meetings, but it's my first question ever. But basically, it's an IT question. I came across when I was trying to share something actually with the other TI I just mentioned, that I was trying to share information, and when I went to select a recipient on my phone, it populated like one of my contacts like 100 times. So basically that's how the perps are getting in my phone. And I know to do screenshots, but I guess the only other self-help I found was it talked about making a police report of that incident, that, my contacts are being duplicated by 100 per contact. So I'm wanting to know if the only thing I saw on the internet was I should possibly make a police report and then maybe contact Google. And they said Samsung, which my phone's an Android-based, and I believe it's through T-Mobile. So I didn't know if anybody else, Tori had any better suggestions on what to do with that. But my phone, that's kind of proof to how one way they're getting to my phone and, duplicating one contact by 100.
Tori, are you still here? Uh-oh. Lori, I know he would love it.
Does the phone get hot?
My phone? Yes, it does.
Yeah, so the thing is, if the phone is getting hot, it could be several reasons. So, for example, if you have a lot of background applications running on startup, that could cause it. But if the phone is being accessed, then that would increase it because, there's more processing if it's being accessed remotely. Now, the other thing, too, is I don't like to sell anyone anything that makes them feel like a false sense of security. So the big thing with TIs is that our devices are probably compromised already. So even if you do some, but at the same time, you still want to do some of the common sense things, like, for example, download the Signal app so you can make encrypted phone calls and text messages.
Okay.
Install Proton VPN on both your phone and your computer.
Okay.
You can also install the Signal app on your laptop. But again, what I always remember is if it's government, we are not stopping them, but we may indeed stop some low-level attacks.
Okay.
But I'm from the firm belief that, for example, if an agency is running a screen capture and key logging, well, it wouldn't really matter because they're actually capturing whatever's on the screen at the time, and then your key log, your keystrokes will match up with what you're doing. But still do the common sense anything. So Signal app on computer and phone, and Proton VPN on phone and your computer.
Okay, yeah, and the Signal app, actually, that's what I was told that's kind of what the military is using, the troops, the soldiers and stuff are, that they're using Signal. But yeah,
and you can also factory reset the phone, and then after you do that, just make sure you run every last update until it says your phone is up to date and there's no more updates available.
Okay, but now to capture, I guess my main thing was because they try to sync me to my phone too. It's really weird, but I have a phone quite a bit. I actually put my phone in the microwave an awful lot, off of course, but to secure it from the Wi-Fi to protect myself, because they try to sync me up quite a bit to my phone for some reason. But my main thing of recent, you heard me right, Tori, about the contacts being populated, like one contact populated like 100 times duplicated. So to capture that though. So those are things going forward. But then, would you do anything besides a screenshot and maybe even have another person video me while I scroll down? Because the screenshot's really not going to be adequate because you really, it's populated like 100 times per line. I don't have that many contacts, but per contact. So with that being said, I guess I could have like my friend video while I'm scrolling to show that. Is populated that many times. But I don't know about contacting Google and Samsung. That was what the internet said. But to prove it and then make a police report, I don't know what you think on that.
Is it the Gmail app?
Where its contacts are populated at. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think actually it is. It is a Gmail app, which is sad. I know I shouldn't be using Google. So. But I think the contacts, I think you are right. That's accurate, that the contacts are, I'm trying to double check. I think that's accurate, though, that I need to, it's Google Messages, and then, I think it's related to Google. That's correct.
Yeah, you can actually update the apps independently. So not just the system for the phone itself, but the apps should be updated. They should run normally, but sometimes if you're not connected, depending on how it's configured, it may not run the update if you're not connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay. But do you agree? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so would you do that, what I found on the internet? I don't even know if that's valid proof, or I'm not trying to make a big deal about something, but I don't have a lot of evidence. I'm trying to be better in that manner. But that's one thing that I can kind of prove that, because it's not just, because I was on the phone with Pat, and actually I thought, well, that's just a coincidence that happened. But then I went and checked again, and it is indeed populated like 100 times per contact line. So person I have in there or source. So I guess what I'm saying is, would you do that where you make a police report?
I see what you're saying. So you're saying you have duplicate contacts in your contacts list.
Correct. Yeah. Mhm.
That could have happened. Did you get a new phone and import? Was it a new phone purchase?
No, I've had this phone long enough that I wouldn't say. I mean, yes, it was new to me, but but it's not new now. And I know what I kind of know what you're saying about how data can be kind of merged together or whatever, and it could duplicate. But this is like 100 duplications per contact line. Like, say I have down Amy Smith in there, and Amy Smith is populated 100 times in my phone.
Well, usually what will happen is when you have that, the contacts will show up in different colors. So, for example, if the contact is saved to the phone, you can also have a contact saved to Google or Gmail or Google Contacts. So what will end up happening is you'll have those two different items, but having it repeated so many times, that's a bit odd. But that's one thing you should look at. You should look at your contacts being saved to the phone versus the contacts that are being saved under Google Contacts. It's just two separate things.
Yeah, and you know what? It does not show that that's an issue until I go to select recipients to share data or share like an item, like say a screen, a picture or something. It doesn't, so it's not evident under my regular contact list. So I don't know how long that's actually been there. But when I go to select recipient, when I'm trying to share information, like attach something to send to a person's say text, that's that part of the process where I see the 100 duplications of the contact. It doesn't show it on my regular list, if that makes any sense.
So try this. The next time you go to do it, instead of trying to, so I'm assuming you're emailing, right? Is that what you're doing?
Well, in this instance, I was just texting, like, say, I think a photo of something I was trying to share, and then under the part where it says select recipient, that's when I counted, I think it was 100 times, where it populated one, each contact line. But that's the only part of it. It's not in the initial part of the contact. But yeah.
So what I would try, if I were you, is go to the item you're trying to share, and then share it from that item versus from your SMS app. So versus the messaging app, go directly to the item and share it from the item itself.
Yeah, and usually, Tori, that's actually how I've always done it. So I didn't uncover that was occurring until, for some reason, I shared it the way you're saying. So I went, say, to the photos and then shared a photo, say, from the photo part instead of trying to attach it, say, from the text. But that was when I discovered that was actually happening, and then I was told that was the perps that was how they were getting into my phone.
Well,
I'm gonna have to after your comment, we're gonna move on because we may have some more people, and I don't want to keep us up. We are late. We're up very late because so.
That's understandable, guys. I get it.
Okay, go ahead. Last comment, Tori.
Yeah, just reach out to me. We could talk offline about it.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Tori. Thanks, and I appreciate all you guys do. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you for talking up this time.
Thank you. You guys have a good night, and thanks for everything, Gaji. Bye.
All right, my pleasure. All right, next caller, please. We're going to try to clear the line, but if not, we're going to try our best to clear the line. All right, let's go.
Hi, Gaji.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. It's Nandi from the eastern part of Carolina. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Mm-hmm.
Fine, how are you?
Okay.
I asked you before, did you get those pictures? You said you had got them. I sent you about 5 pictures. Yes. I'm the one that got the housing problem.
Okay. Nandi.
I'll tell you what
What did you send me pictures by email?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sometimes I get things and sometimes I don't. But I haven't gotten anything from you in quite a while. But I'm glad you were able to come on tonight. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm always here. I just don't say nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have nothing. Thank you so much. But what I want to tell you that what they did, they put enough water in here Friday to knock the ceiling from the floor, knock the ceiling down.
Wow.
This place is under Section. Me too. This place is under Section 8, but it ain't never been inspected. The stove ain't worked in over 3 years, and I kept telling them it caused fire. There's a wiring problem in the apartment. Nobody wouldn't do anything.
I
want to.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, you go ahead.
No. Go ahead. What you want to ask is what?
No, I was telling you about the ceiling. They knocked the ceiling down in here.
Yeah.
And I got up all that. I'm the one got up all that sheetrock. The maintenance came Saturday. He threw out a couple of slabs of it, but the floor was covered with it. I lost a lot of stuff. I had to throw it out.
Wow.
But this is an emergency right here. I don't think I should be in this apartment under the respiratory thing with that ceiling down. It's very wet and damp in here.
Right.
So that's what I was.
Somebody is supposed to come and inspect if you complain about something like that.
But I've been running my mouth for years about it, and somebody just came today, but they telling me I got to go through a process. I shouldn't have to go through a process. I got the document of the person with Section 8 voucher that inspected the place, but he never did.
Okay, so you're going to have to...
It's all...
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're going to have to email me because I don't want to hold everybody while we talk about this, okay? So email me and I'll email you.
But I don't never say anything on the calls. Cause
you sure don't.
Right.
You sure
and
don't.
So when I do, it's just something be important to me. That lady talked a long time and nobody didn't do nothing about it. But okay, what you say is Proton?
The Justice Action Meeting at proton.me. You're right. I let them talk about that technology. Probably a little too long. Thank you, Nandi.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay,
I'll do that as soon as possible. And I want you to give me, because you told me about the person that could help me.
Right, and he did.
You remember the man?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll do what you tell me.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Next caller, please.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Constance. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Hey, Tori. Yeah. So I got all that good information. Thank you. That was a good presentation of that, Tori. I really appreciate it. You getting that out there as another form of our experimentation through the United States of America. And I just wanted to say hey, and I'm praying for you guys very much. I'm praying.
Thank you so much.
Intensely. Hallelujah. May God be the glory. Thank you.
All right, now. Thank you for praying for us, and we're praying for you as well, Constance. Thank you for your constant support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much love to you. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We cleared the line, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for another wonderful night. And we're going to open up so we can say good night. And, again, happy birthday, Jill, is it? Oh, my God. I hope Jill from Nebraska. And everybody, thank you for being here. All right, let's open up and say good night. Oh, announcements. Tranquility. Announcements, please.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Week in TI Events. We have an exciting lineup of TI events happening this week and beyond, so sit back and enjoy. Kicking off our announcements, on Friday, August 16th, Refuge from the Storm Church is hosting an all-night community prayer service from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern via Zoom, and all are welcome. For more details and to participate, contact Sister Lewis at 667-440-8967 or email Dr. Black at mgrace321@gmail.com. Looking ahead, the 2024 Democratic National Convention will be held in Chicago, Illinois from August 19th to 22nd. Ann Baker is organizing a group of TIs to attend. If you're interested in joining, visit the Havana Syndrome Task Force Rally tab at tievents.org for more details. The countdown has begun. In just 21 days, the Targeted Action 2024 rally will kick off in Colorado Springs from August 28th through 30th, hosted by Targeted Justice. This promises to be the largest TI awareness event ever, with over 200 attendees already signed up. Key speakers include Sarah Westall, Dr. Lynn Baer, Attorney Anna Toledo, Richard Lighthouse, Dr. Sally Priester, GoGi's Justice, Craig LaForest, and other esteemed members of the TI community. For event details and to register, visit the Targeted Action 2024 tab at targetedjustice.com or tievents.org. If you have registered but haven't yet completed your payment, please do so now to secure your spot. Use the link on the targetedjustice.com website and enter invoice code 001 to finalize your registration. No wheels, no problem. Simply head to the rideshare board at tievents.org to find or offer fellow TIs a ride to the Colorado Rally. Curious about whether you're a targeted individual? GoGi's book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual, is available on Amazon and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. This book is a great resource to help you understand if you're targeted and to explain our experiences to others. Stay updated with Targeted Justice by following them on Rumble. Simply type Real Targeted Justice in the search bar and hit follow for exclusive content on legal discussions, personal interviews, and community updates. And don't forget to keep up with GoGi Justice. Follow her on TikTok for the latest updates. Also subscribe to her YouTube channel, GoGi's After Dinner Jam, where you can catch replays of all her shows and stay informed about important events and topics. It's a great way to catch up on anything you might have missed or want to revisit. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and a special thanks to GoGi for allowing me to share these announcements. Remember, you can find all these details and more at tievents.org. Sign up for email updates to ensure you never miss a beat. Until next time, this is Tranquility signing off and sending you all waves of positivity. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
All right. And guess what? It's Tori's birthday, too, on this weekend. So happy birthday, Tori. Let's open up. If you want to say happy birthday to Tori, anything you'd like to say, it's time to exhale. And then we can move on. I hope you all have a great week and hope to see you back here on the Jam next Tuesday, and it will be once again jam-packed. All right? We didn't get to our Jam homework, but we've got to do our Jam homework. So I'm going to have to make sure I put some time in for that next week. Next week, guys, we have Chief and Andrea. All right. So we hope to have an exciting week next week. All right. Can we open up and let's say happy birthday, Tori.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for the call, guys.
Happy birthday, Tori. I don't know you, but happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday.
GoGi. Thanks, Tori.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Good night, everybody. Good night. I enjoyed the call. It was very nice.
Thank you.
I learned some more.
All right, now.
GoGi.
And like you said, we're time for each other.
I hear you calling me.
GoGi.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I hear you.
Thank you.
GoGi.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Yes, is that Beverly? My Bev?
GoGi.
Yes.
GoGi.
Yes, I hear
Claudine.
you.
I was just listening.
Oh, thank
Hello?
you. Hi, how are you?
GoGi.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Am I?
GoGi.
I hear y'all.
GoGi.
I hear her too. Hi, I hear you.
Come on, I hear you too.
Thank you, guys, everybody. Thank you for being here.
GoGi.